الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبد الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا اما بعد فان اصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد فاتقوا الله يا عباد الله. Fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the whole purpose of Ramadan. It's the whole reason why we fast. It is the objective and it's the aim. It's the goal. It's the target of this entire ritual of fasting. So if we're fasting to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then let us remind ourselves of our duty and our responsibility to fear Him, the Mighty and the Most High. As far as the message of today's khutbah, in brief, brothers and sisters in Islam, then before we dig into it, before we roll up our sleeves, and before we look into what we actually want to talk about, I call upon each and every one of you to think for a second and to reflect for a second on how fast time has moved and how fast time moves. Just like yesterday, just the other day, it was the moon sighting, and it was COVID-19, the coronavirus. Will we fast? Will we not fast? Will we have tarawih? Will there be iftars? Will the mosques be open? And now the people are asking and they're arguing and they're debating and they're trying to figure out for the Eid. Just like that, it was Sha'ban. 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, the blink of an eye. Just stop and think about how fast time moves. And that is the similitude of this worldly life. An entire life, 60 years, 50 years, 70 years, 80 years can go by just like that. And the next thing you know, you're old. The next thing you know, this one has passed. The next thing you know, you're a grandfather, you're a grandmother. You have little small children. And just like that, you were running around figuring out what you were going to do in high school and college, and you fell in love with your wife, so on and so forth. Time moves swiftly. Time moves very fast, very quickly. So I want everyone to think about that. And all of the hadiths of the Messenger of Allah with regards to time and its value and its importance, and how towards the end of time, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتقارب الزمان. Many narrations state that the hour will not be established until time becomes mutaqarib, until time, waqt, becomes mutaqarib. What it means, days are shorter, weeks are shorter, months are shorter, and years are shorter than what they previously were. Time itself has shrunk. Time itself will shrink. Or whether it means that the time is the time, 24 hours is 24 hours, with a sundial, with an hourglass, Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, time is time no matter what. And the time of the Prophet, before the Prophet, and after Prophet. But the barakah of time, the blessing, the wholesomeness of the time is not like that of the past, in which what you used to accomplish in one day, it takes you 7 days. I used to do this in one day back when I was your age. Back in this country, back in such and such, in 1960, 1970, 1980. The work that you do in a week, I did in a day. And the work that you do in 1 month, we accomplished that in 5 days of work. That which takes you a decade to accomplish, we did it in a year. What happened to that? So on and so forth. So some scholars, they say that it's literal. That time will shrink. The time will become less. And others, they say the time remains the time. The sun rises and sets upon all men in the same manner. The sun rises and the sun sets upon all men in the same manner, but the wholesomeness of the time, the blessings of the time isn't the same. And old people, they always say they don't make them like they used to. They don't make them like they used to. Something you haven't heard from your grandfather, your grandmother, or older brother, or older sister, they don't make them the way they used to. Why not? Is the steel not the same steel? Is the wood not the same wood? Is the plastic, the rubber, the materials are the same? Rather, we have more technology. We make things faster, quicker, stronger against corrosion of the sun and rain and dust and dirt. But they still say they don't make them the way they used to. And that is why we marvel over old and antique things, such as automobiles. Cars of the past, you see the white wall tires, it looks nice, the paint, the color, the theme. But the cars today are more efficient on gas, they're faster, they're safer, so on and so forth. But you get into an accident, someone hits you, you hit someone, you bump into a tree. What happens to your car? They say they don't make it the way they used to. Forget about it. You can't find that type of car, you can't find that model anymore. They don't make it like that anymore. Are the people different? Obviously, we can all agree that something is different. Whether the time itself is less, or whether the value of the time, the usefulness of the time isn't the same. So the hadith, these are hadith, they state that towards the end of time, the hour will not be established until the time comes closer together. And obviously knowledge will be taken away, and there'll be a great deal of ignorance, and mass consumption of alcohol, and mass fornication and adultery, and there'll be a great deal of killing, a great deal of bloodshed until the end of this hadith. Another hadith, they state that a year will be like a month. How time, a big piece of time will seem like a short piece of time. So we should all think about this as Muslims, and we should all be conscious of this as Muslims, how quick and how fast things pass by. Just like yesterday, it was the beginning of the month of Ramadan. And that's how it is every year. But it seems as if it was faster this year. Whatever the reason may be. Because the masjid was closed down, because people were sick, because you were in the hospital visiting your grandmother, or your aunt, or your uncle who had the virus. Whatever the reason may be, Ramadan is over. So we previously mentioned, brothers and sisters, the importance for the Muslim to honor his guest, and the obligation for the Muslim to honor his or her guest, any guest, especially if the guest comes from a very far and distant location, especially if the guest is an honorable guest, not the average person, especially if the guest only comes once a year, and especially if the guest comes for a limited piece or period of time, and especially if the guest brings you a bag or a cartload of gifts. Listen carefully. The Prophet ﷺ says, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawm al-akhir falyukrim dayfahu." You believe in Allah? You believe in Yawm al-Qiyamah? Then honor your guests. man, woman, knowledgeable, whatever, whoever your guest may be. If they're your guests, you honor them, entertain them, host them. That's what the Prophet ﷺ tells us. So what is the case, and what is the duty and the responsibility of honoring and entertaining and preparing for a guest that comes from a very, very far distant location? Your cousin who came from Long Island to Queens, it's not that far. Your uncle or your friend or your co-worker who came from upstate New York, Albany, to New York City. Far enough, but it's not that far. It's not like someone coming from Canada, someone coming from Florida, far away. Someone actually coming from the Caribbean to the United States. Someone who's traveling from overseas, London to New York City, across the Atlantic Ocean. You're not going to treat that guest like the brother who came from a borough or a city or a state. Even though you want to honor them too, you want to entertain them too, but it's not the same as someone who took an 8-hour flight, a 7-hour flight, someone who got on 2 airplanes, someone who's in a different time zone. It's a difference. The guest is a stranger. This person's from a total different part of the world or part of the United States. You're going to treat them differently. Let alone the fact that this guest is only staying for a short period of time. I'll be here for a month, inshallah, at least. My paperwork may take 2 months, but at least a month. No faster than a month. But you know this person is only coming for the blink of an eye. Thirdly, they only see you once a year. It's not like someone you see on the weekends, every other day, every 2 days, every Jumu'ah. You only see them once out of 12 months. And then on top of all of this, the guest is noble, honorable, esteemed, prestigious, high level guest, top tier guest. And then last but not least, this guest brings you gifts. It's not like you're just entertaining him or entertaining her. They bring you all types of goodies and treats for yourself, for your family, and they keep you company and you enjoy that guest. So how would you respect them? How would you honor them? How would you entertain them? We've spoken on this. That's done. Khalas. We're talking about the Eid now. That guest is about to leave. But now the question is, how much do you miss the guest? And is your missing and your longing and your yearning for this guest, is it an illusion? Is it a fantasy? Or is it real and is it tangible? As far as the illusionary yearning of someone, then that's someone that you didn't respect and you didn't honor. You didn't treat them well. They came, oh yeah, sure, I'll see you tomorrow. Inshallah, I'll check you out. I'll swing by the hotel. I'll check on you. Call me if you need something. That's the famous line that we give to our guests. Call me if you need something. Instead of, I'm coming, bringing you what I think and believe and I know that you need. Call me if you need something. I'll check you out, inshallah. That's the illusion. We really don't, oh man, what happened to Fulan? Where did such and such go? My wife from overseas, my husband from overseas, they're going now. That's an illusion. You really don't miss that person 100%. Versus the one that you did sit with, you did drink with, you did eat with, you did honor, you did respect. And they brought you so much good. And you sit there and say, SubhanAllah, man, it's time to go. I can't wait till next year. I can't wait till you come back. I can't wait till she comes back. I can't wait till I go visit you again, so on and so forth. This is night and day. So we have to ask ourselves, with the last day of Ramadan or the last 2 days of Ramadan, what are we going to do with the time that remains with our guests? If we treated our guests kindly and respectfully, if we entertained them, then let's finish off strongly, inshallah. Let's make the best banquet, the biggest dinner. Let's bring out the sweetest of desserts for the last 2 nights, for the last 2 days. And if we neglected this guest, and we didn't value this guest, then let us try to make up for it with the little that we have before it's finally too late. And let's not say, oh, I miss our guest, what happened to him, what happened to her, and they're gone. The boat has sailed, the ship has sailed. Khalas, it's shawwal, it's over. You had 28 days, 29 days to establish a relationship with the Quran. A whole entire month to work on self-discipline. A whole entire month to pray. A whole entire month to get sadaqah. A whole entire month to do the right thing, to become a better Muslim. That month is gone. It's over. Khalas. So what remains of the month of Ramadan, we have to critically think, guys. We really got to sit down and think about it. What did I do? What am I doing? And what am I going to do? What didn't I do? What am I not doing? And what am I not going to do in the future? And that's because you know the bitterness of regret. But obviously, most of us, we only have remorse, and we only have regret, and we only feel bad after it's too late. You don't know what you have until it's gone. That's an iconic statement of life. You don't appreciate a thing until it's gone. But obviously, it's of no value. Your father is dead. Your mother is gone. Your son, your wife, your job, your health, the things that you used to have, that you used to value, that you didn't value, it's too late. So what remains of the month of Ramadan, let us buckle down. Let us fasten. Let us strap up. Let us tighten up. Let us reminisce. Let us reflect critically what remains of the month, inshallah ta'ala. And the greatest message and the most important message of the month of Ramadan is to fuel, is to outfit, is to push you forward to the remaining months. And this is one of the wisdoms why Allah Azza wa Jalla only made it 1 month. And why He called the month of Ramadan fixed days. And that's because it's a little that's supposed to give you a lot. A short period of time for a longer and greater period of time. So Ramadan should be manifest in the month of Shawwal and after Shawwal and so on and so forth. أقول ما سمعتم واستغفر الله تعالى لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة الله وسلامه على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. There's a hadith that's reported by Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, may Allah be pleased with them both, that you can find in the Jami' al-Imam al-Tirmidhi, that whenever the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam would sit down and he wanted to stand up, he would make the following supplication. He would say the following words. He would say, Allahumma iqsim lana min khashyatik ma yahulu baynana wa bayna ma'asik wa min ta'atika ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصيبات الدنيا. The hadith states that the Messenger of Allah used to say when he stood up from a majlis, he would say, Allahumma, oh Allah, iqsim lana min khashyatik. Give us some of your fear. Give us a portion of your dreading you, fearing you. ما يحول بيننا وبين معاصيك. A sufficient portion, a good enough piece that will hinder us from disobeying. Allah bless us and grant us with your fear. We may not get all of the fear of Allah. We may not reach the highest level, but at least give us a minimum. Enough to prevent us from sinning. Oh Allah, give us some of your obedience. We may not get everything. We may not do everything. We may not perform everything. But at least enough that will allow us to just go to Jannah, to enter paradise. Number 3, and give us, oh Allah, enough yaqeen, enough certainty, enough sure knowledge that will make the calamities and the misfortunes of this worldly life manageable, easy. We can bear the musibat of the dunya because we know that it's only the dunya. And we know that the dunya comes and it goes. And we know that Allah could give the dunya to those whom He loves, and He can give this world life to those whom He hates. But He only gives the deen. He only gives iman to those whom He loves. Think about it now. When you notice in your head, life is 10 times easier for you. Why are the Muslims like this and why are the non-Muslims like that? Why are the righteous, pious Muslims like this and the wicked, sinful Muslims like that? Because it's the dunya. So therefore, I have yaqeen. This happens, this takes place, I miss out on this one betrays, etc. It's okay. This is from the adiyah, the prophetic supplications, but that's not what we want to talk about in this hadith. That's not the main highlighting point that I want to focus on in this hadith. There's several other things that the Messenger of Allah used to say in supplication, until the point in which he used to say, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ مُصِيبَتَنَا فِي دِينِنَا وَلَا تَجْعَلِ الدُّنْيَا أَكْبَرَ هَمِّنَا وَلَا مَبْلَغَ عِلْمِنَا. These 3 points are crucial for the month of Ramadan and for what's going on in the world today. Number 1, the Prophet ﷺ was quoted to have said, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ مُصِيبَتَنَا فِي دِينِنَا. When it comes to calamities, and when it comes to misfortunes, when it comes to the unfortunate, unpleasant realities of life, we know that they will take place. You have told us this, O Allah. But please, O Allah, do not place a calamity upon us in our deen. That's a major calamity. Cancer is with my body. Diabetes with my body. Life, death, so on and so forth, loss of wealth, no problem. But prayer, fasting, zakat, hajj, my iman, the Quran, my relationship with Allah, don't place a fitna upon us and a calamity upon us with regards to our religion. Number 2, the narration and the supplication, it then says, and do not make your worldly life our greatest worry. Don't make this dunya our greatest worry. Number 3, وَلَا مَبْلَغَ عِلْمِنَا, and do not make this worldly life the only thing that we know about. And the final destination of our knowledge and our science, our research, our mental concern doesn't exceed and doesn't go past the hayat dunya. Stop and think about that now with regards to COVID-19. People getting sick, people dying, people being affected by all of these things. That's a calamity. There's no doubt about that. That's a musibah. Someone that you know, someone that you come across, got sick, got infected, someone lost their job, someone. But just think about the Muslims who are afflicted in their deen because of this pandemic. Just think about that. The Muslims who relinquished their religion, who gave up on their religion, who turned their backs on their religion, who began to wash and shave down the religion to appease those people who don't like our religion. Think about the greatest worry that you have. The greatest worry. Akbar hamina. Worrying about bills is permissible. And it's possible. Worrying about your children, worrying about your son, worrying about your daughter, worrying about your husband, worrying about your investments, worrying about your life's legacy, it's possible. And it is permissible. However, the hadith says, Akbar hamina, the greatest of our worries. And this is one of the most dangerous things that we've seen with regards to this worldwide pandemic and the month of Ramadan. Death, sickness, illness, and the corruption of the worldly things, the greatest of our worries. Number 1, not the deen, not morals, not manners, not, but I don't want to get sick. If you told the people, this will happen to you if you do this sin. If you told the people, this will happen to you if you have a dog, the Prophet ﷺ says, he who takes a dog, not for hunting, not for this, not for that, he'll lose a tremendous amount of reward every single day. Yet still there are Muslims who still love dogs, who have dogs as pets, and they have no worries about the dogs. But they say you'll get sick if someone coughs on you, if you touch a doorknob or a handle, if you touch something getting on a bus or a train, you'll get sick, you'll die, you'll be on a respirator. And then 1,000 people overnight throw on masks. And 1,000 people overnight, they'll close their shops, they'll lose their money, and they'll give up their freedom and their constitutional rights just because of the fear of getting sick. Not getting sick, the fear of getting sick. Stop and think about that now. And ask yourself critically, what is the greatest of your worries? The dunya or the akhirah? And it doesn't mean that you're negligent of the worldly life. It doesn't mean that you don't take care of your responsibilities in the worldly life. But the ratio, is it 50-50? 70-30 or 30-70? That's scary. Thirdly, وَلَا مَبْلَغَ عِلْمِنَا, and do not make this worldly life the only thing that we know about. The only thing that we say. Take 100 Muslim youth, 100. I challenge you. I guarantee you 99 of them will say, I want to be a doctor. 99 of them will say, I want to play basketball. 99 of them will say, I want to be an engineer. 99 of them will say, I want to do this and I want to do that of the worldly life. What is a successful Muslim? Interview 100 Muslims. House, car, a pretty wife, money, savings. 99 Muslims will say that, and that's unfortunate. And the reason behind this is we have made this worldly life the greatest of our worries. Not one of our worries, one of the things you should focus on, but it is the top worry and the top source of stress. And that's scary. And if we think that we're going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and meet Him with this attitude and this disposition and this behavior, and everything is going to be okay and fine, then we are definitely asleep. And if we're asleep, we need to be woken up. We need to be brought back to reality. We need to realize that we're here for a short period of time, and Allah has given us things that are permissible. Allah has allowed us to have things, to own things, to take things, to use things, only to take us to the hereafter. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protection from this, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to open up our eyes and to realize that the month of Ramadan, Bidnillahi ta'ala, is not a month of torture. It's not a month of starving yourself. It's not a month of showing off. Just like Salat al-Eid. And the day of the Eid is not a day of showing off. And it's not a fashion show. It is not a day in which I'm glad and I'm happy that we're done fasting and I don't have to fast until next year. I don't have to feel the pangs of hunger until 12 months. That's not the purpose of the day of the Eid. So with regards to the restrictions that we have, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا لَهَا مَا كَسَبَتْ وَعَلَيْهَا مَا اكْتَسَبَتْ. Allah does not burden the soul. Allah does not make a soul responsible for more than it can do. But Allah does burden the soul. The Quran clearly affirms that there is taklif. There is a responsibility, there is liability, there is some weight, but there's no more weight than you can lift and bear and carry. So therefore, with regards to Ramadan, with regards to the Eid and the Eid prayer, there's something that you have to do, and there's something that you should do. And there are things that you cannot do in light of what's going on in the world today. Congregating, celebrating, 100 people, 500 people, 5,000 people. But it doesn't mean that the Eid is supposed to be abandoned. And it doesn't mean that the prayer in the houses of Allah and the worship of Allah is supposed to be abandoned. The President of the United States, the Senator, the Governor, the Mayor, the Councilman, none of them ever said that all places of worship have to be shut down. They never said that. They never said that. And it's very unfortunate and scary that many Muslims, they cowered immediately. As soon as it broke, shut down the masjid and left the ring. That's scary and that's sad. They never said that you have to close it down, but you can't have a normal congregation. You can't have 300 people because of the sickness and the virus. But they never said you couldn't have 3 people. They never said you couldn't have 5 people. They never said that you couldn't use the distance and so on and so forth. So the point I'm trying to get to, brothers and sisters, is that bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, if you cannot do the normal congregational Eid prayer, then try to do the Eid prayer in your home, inshallah ta'ala, with your family. And perhaps that's a blessing for you. Perhaps all of the years that you've been a Muslim, now it's time for you to be the imam of your household and of your family. Make the Eid prayer the normal way that you would make it, with the imam in the park, in the gymnasium, and in the stadium. With the Tura'ah, the extra takbirs, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, Sabbi Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, and the list goes on. And if you want to do a khutbah and a small sermon and tell your people and give admonishment to your family, perhaps there's nothing wrong with that. What's important is COVID-19 cannot stop the show of Islam. The coronavirus is not supposed to rain on the parade of the Muslims. It's not supposed to rain on our parade. We're still supposed to hold our heads high and practice our religion and take pride in our religion and do the best that we can. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. But the Quran clearly affirms to fear Allah. And many of us, unfortunately, learned people, scholars, doctors, professors, preachers, scholars to Islam, they tell the people the opposite message. When adversity comes, when difficulty comes, they say you don't have to fear Allah anymore. You don't have to do it anymore. You don't have to say it. And they push the people to quit before they even start fighting. And that's not the message of the Quran. The Quran clearly mentions لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها, except for its wus'ah. And how do you know what you can bear and what you can do if you quit before the bell even rings? You didn't even fight around with a fight. 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds. I had to stop. I had to give up. My eyes cut. I had to quit the match. No problem. That's not like a person who throws in the towel and forfeits the match before it even begins. So we as Muslims, it is our duty to practice Islam to the best of our ability. The best of our ability. And included in that is the Eid. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, Zakat al-Fitr. Pay your Zakat al-Fitr tonight if you want to. Tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, before the Eid prayer. And it should be 5 pounds of dry food stuff. 5 pounds. 5 pounds for every single member in your family that you look after and take care of. If you have 4 sons, 4 daughters, if you have a wife that's pregnant with a baby, whomever you are a benefactor of, you must pay Zakat al-Fitr on behalf of them. And that should be at least 5 pounds of dry, staple food material. Oatmeal, rice, grain, etc. That's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And that food should be given before the Eid is established. And that food should be given to poor, needy Muslims. Poor, needy Muslims, bid'nillahi ta'ala. If you don't know no poor, needy Muslims in your town, everyone's rich, everyone is affluent, everyone has a lot of money, then where are you giving your zakat and sadaqah? The Muslim is always supposed to be aware of those who are poor and needy. And without the poor and the needy, you cannot properly worship Allah if you're wealthy and rich. You need the poor person. You need him, you need her to purify your wealth and to fulfill your Islamic obligation. So the Muslims should already be aware of those who are needy in the community. If no one in this community is needy, then the neighboring community. If no one is needy in the neighboring community, then the neighboring city, the neighboring country. There's going to be people who will accept the zakat al-fitr bid'nillahi ta'ala. So 5 pounds for every single Muslim that you, inshallah ta'ala, are in charge of. You have a wife, you have a child, anyone that you're in charge of, and you provide for and look after, you must pay the zakat al-fitr on their behalf. And COVID-19 does not stop that obligation. COVID-19 does not stop the obligation. Do not give money for zakat al-fitr unless you have to. Unless it's an extreme difficulty. Don't give the money if you haven't tried to actually give the grain. Because that's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And as far as those who say, well, the poor people, they need things besides rice. What are you going to cook the rice with? How are you going to cook the rice? They need money. That's true. So why not give a bag of rice and give a bag of money? Why not give a bag of grain and also give $20? What does a zakat al-fitr? How much money do you spend in a restaurant? How much money do you spend on a pair of shoes for your son? $150, $200 for a pair of sneakers that he's going to wear, he's going to get dirty, he's going to play basketball, and he's going to throw them in the trash. $200. How much sadaqah is that? How much zakat is that? How many Muslims are there? So bid'nillahi ta'ala, don't forget, brothers and sisters, to establish the zakat al-fitr and make the Eid prayer according to the best of your ability. And do not forget the takbirat. وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Allah tells us the month of Ramadan, why the Quran was sent down, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. He who's alive should fast. He who's traveling, he who's sick. Allah talks about those who have a concession to break their fast. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants ease for you, and He does not want difficulty for you. When He took me to India, Allah says in you to complete the amount of days, and for you to make takbir of Allah, because He guided you, and for you to be thankful. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept our fasts, to accept our prayers, and to accept our charity. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to remove this virus, this pandemic from the Muslims and from all of humanity. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to guide all of humanity to the religion of Islam, the tolerant way of Abraham. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the Muslims from the plots and schemes of their enemies, and to allow the Muslims to open up their eyes and open up their ears and to wake up to what is going on in the world today. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla for forgiveness of our sins and mercy upon our souls. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make us better than we previously were. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.